And it's now time for SME OnPoint. On the menu today is a story about an innovation that will certainly change how restaurants operate. We all know that in the time of COVID-19, we'd have to make changes, and eating out is no different. So, well, 3 entrepreneurs have found a creative way to minimize contact at restaurants. They've come up with a digital menu that will help keep patrons safe while ensuring that restaurants observe COVID-19 regulations. This is their story. It is edited by my colleagues Manqoba, Nkosi and Phumla Dhladhla. Sbusiso Nhlapho, Snethemba Ncede and Johannes Ramotale had been developing this technology of a contactless menu way before COVID-19 was a feature in our lives.
Before the whole pandemic, we started working on it. Ginger, I think of it as something that's been probably brewing up since probably the year 2016. When I lost my office and I had to work from restaurants, and that's all I did every day. Wake up, go to the first restaurant that opens from 9 o'clock up until 5. And I noticed some inefficiencies. I noticed that I'm not ordering everything that I thought I would order while hosting the meeting, because the waiters are not coming as often as I would like, and I'm having to leave while I'd intended to order more things. Or if they do come, I'm not getting what I actually requested. Sometimes the orders are getting wrong. So I've always been thinking about there should be a way where you can get your exact order when you want it and how you want it.
Since late last month, restaurants have been allowed to open subject to the strict adherence to all health protocols and social distancing measures. These include patrons not touching a traditional menu.
I was able to develop this the mobile app to be user-friendly, to be more user-oriented. So now if the user downloads the app and uses it, they will feel like they're still in a restaurant. It's convenience was in my head while developing this app.
Ncede says besides being contactless, the app can help restaurants to boost their sales.
The user now has got virtually a waiter that is there at the table at all times, which is by the form of their mobile device that they can order from at any point in time that they feel that they want to order. That's the first thing, because this order moves from them, it moves straight to the kitchen or the cashier, and they're able to see that, accept it, and dispatch the food. The other thing is to help with ease of mind. Patrons will now be able to go to these restaurants knowing that they don't have to touch anything that they don't feel comfortable touching. What we call our high traffic surfaces, which is your menu, your speed point, and things like that. They can simply interact and eat and conversate and order things, and they move from kitchen to table.
While this technology now exists via Play Store, its uptake is likely to remain pedestrian as restaurants still struggle to attract pre-COVID traffic. But in the meantime, these tech minds say they'll keep improving their platform. Nhlapho encourages others to use this time to identify their passion and capabilities, as well as using them to solve problems around them.
If you're good at something, pursue that. Try to find problems within what you are capable of, then figure out how you can solve those problems.
Liabo Setho, SABC News, Johannesburg. Thank you to our featured business of the week, and I encourage you to go to our Facebook page at SME OnPoint and tell us what you think of our featured business. Is it something that you would like to use in your business, in your restaurant? And as a patron, how much easier would this make your lives? Remember, we are trying to make the SME circle much bigger. So the inability of small businesses to access finance has been a great challenge in the country rather. And the founders of Fundarr plan to disrupt this market by funding 1 billion rands worth of South African businesses' growth in the next 5 years to become the preferred alternative lenders for SMEs. So to find out more about their plan, I'm joined by one of the co-founders, Eden Jan, who is via Skype. Eden, thank you so much for joining us on SME OnPoint. Tell us about Fundarr. The one thing that I've noticed while I've hosted this show is that the lack of access to credit has been very crippling to a lot of businesses, that some have had to close. How are you planning to support businesses such as those?
Liabo, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure. I'm a big fan of the show. Yeah, so like you said, our plan is to fund 1 billion rand worth of small business working capital within the next 5 years. We're really looking forward to do it. We believe the core of the South African economy is small businesses, and we really want to try, innovate, and improve the acceptance and conversion ratio of small businesses to accept finance, to get finance and working capital. You know, I'm a big fan of the banking institute in South Africa, but from what we've seen and from what the economy tells us is small businesses really lack to get access into finance from formal banking institutions. And that's why there's been a rise in alternative lenders such as Fundarr in the market.
Now tell us more about Fundarr. I know that you talk about having an automated credit model. What does that entail? And I'm also keen to know, how you navigate the issue of now us being in a pandemic, and a business may be in a tougher position than it may have been a year ago.
Yes, of course. So basically what we mean by automated model is we try to take the human element out as much as possible from the credit process. We do that to reduce overheads and reduce costs on our end, so we can forward it on to our small businesses. So what we've done is we've created a complete online onboarding. You know, a client comes onto our website, he can apply within 7 minutes and get access to the capital within 24 hours. You know, we have a strict, really quick turnaround time, and that is our differential from the formal banking institutions. So everything from receiving documents, uploading documents, analyzing documents, communicating with the client, everything's done online automatically. You know, no face-to-face interaction. By that, we allow ourselves to disperse more loans at a quicker rate, more efficiently, allow the business owner to actually get the capital and use it to grow his business. You were talking about the COVID pandemic and how it affected us as a business. We took our credit models, different data points that we input. Now we're starting to look into which sector of the economy the business operates in, where does it tie in with the risk adjustment strategy, which region does the business operate in. There's been constant communication of hotspots within the country, which also threats of different lockdown levels within regions. So we have to take all these points into account, but we don't believe that this pandemic should stop us from assisting small businesses. This is the time where they need money the most.
Yeah, that's very true. But we can't shy away from the fact that even as a lender, you still need to have a criteria in place in order to assess businesses. And you do make a valid point in your press statement when you say that traditional banks look for audited statements, which small businesses traditionally would not have access to. How are you different in that regard?
Sure. So, I mean, if you look at the formal banking institution, and if a small business wants to apply via the bank, okay, first of all, the turnaround time is very long. Second of all, they ask for a lot of documents that a small business owner just does not have. A is the financial literacy of the business, and B is the documents on hand. They're asking for securitization of the loan. They ask them for audited financials, which small businesses don't have. They ask them to have sufficient assets to back that type of loan. And we just don't believe that we should ask for all of that. So we only ask for documents that the business owner has on hand. We ask for bank statements, we ask for lease agreements, we ask for company documents, really, really simple things that the business owner has on hand. It can apply online and kind of take away that hassle.
That's very intuitive and very great. I hope that our viewers at home will be able to go to the website of Fundarr, and that's www.fundarr.co.za to see how they can help your business. We do know that businesses right now can use all the help that they can get. And that is it from SME OnPoint for this